Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Mythlok with your host Nitin Nair. We were discussing Hopi mythology the other day and I thought let's stick with the same region and move over to a mythology that we haven't explored for quite a while now. This is the Inuit mythology. And today we are discussing one of the most primary characters in their mythology, the sun goddess Malina. Malina is a solar deity in the Inuit mythology of the tribes of Greenland. The story of Malina is closely associated with the lunar deity known as Igaluk or Anningan, who also happens to be her brother. Their constant chase is believed to be the reason for the movement of the moon and sun in the sky. Inuit mythology states that Igaluk and Malina were very close when they were young. However, they eventually grew apart as they grew older and lived in separate houses. Igaluk realized that Malina was the most beautiful of all the women and started lusting after her. One night, after identifying the unique fabric of her clothes, Igaluk found her and mated with her. Malina did not know the identity of the person who raped her, and the next time it happened, Malina covered her hands with the oil lamps and wiped his face with it. After realizing that her brother was the one who had been sexually active with her, she became red and hot due to her shame and anger. She ran into the sky with Igaluk right behind her. When you talk about the physical traits of Malina, it is believed that she was extremely pretty in every region. In some areas of the Arctic, she is known to have a skeletal back. According to some stories, she cut off her breasts and presented them to her brother before she took off into the skies. Some stories claim that Malina and her brother Igaluk had children, but the most common story among the tribes of the Inuit tribes of Alaska, Canada and Greenland is that they were constantly in conflict due to the heinous act by Igaluk. Malina is not described as having any explicit powers other than being the sun goddess or someone who transformed into the sun. Malina hates her brother, and this directly relates to the hatred between the sun and the moon. The hate continues to flow down to each of the opposite genders as well, where the sun hates males and vice versa. This impacts the traditions of the Inuits as well, because during a solar eclipse, men are not allowed to go out, and during a lunar eclipse, the women are not allowed to leave their homes. The two deities are known to cause diseases among those who are offended by them. The relationship between Malina and Igaluk is how the Inuit people describe the monthly cycle and changes within the moon. While their myth does change slightly from region to region, it usually contains some element of incest. Areas of Canada have made this deliberate, showing Malina and Igaluk fleeing from the earth and rising to the sky in order to escape from shame. Certain areas in Alaska show the move to the sky as a way for the siblings to continue with their relationship. An interesting story about Malina and Igaluk is that the reason the moon tends to change its shape from being a full moon to going down to a crescent is because Igaluk or the moon is so focused on capturing the sun that he forgets to eat at times. And as he stays hungry longer, he becomes thinner, and finally he has to take a day of rest, which is also the new moon day, so that he can feed and revive himself completely to resume the chase of the ever-elusive Malina. Inuit mythology has been interesting as far as we have explored, and we will be looking into a lot more of these mythologies and characters from the region. Until then, this is Nitin Nair, your host, signing off by reminding you once again that Mythlok is the home of mythology.